r/ask Reddit. What's the most unhealthy thing that society encourages us to do? Work when they're sick. While many people do have sick days they can use, they're actively encouraged not to use them, some even get fired for it, and many did go to work sick. Work in food service where it's technically illegal to work when sick, but if you dare try and follow that rule you'll be lucky if you have a job. Yup, which is absolutely disgusting, in a couple ways. If I have to work when I'm sick, I will do everything I can to infect my boss. If you want to set the standard that health isn't important, then get ready to be sick. I had to stay off yesterday, was scheduled for overtime, and followed the procedures for ringing in and saying I'm not well. Came in this morning and was chewed out for missing work at a crucial time, and I should have come in anyway so they could see if I was actually sick enough to warrant not working. It would have cost me £20 in taxis to come in, shit myself and throw up on her desk. Next time I'm going to be doing exactly that. Not getting enough sleep. Rest. People are encouraged to do so much in life, work, play, socialize, etc. that most don't get the appropriate amount of rest needed to function properly and maintain good health. Also, not getting enough sleep is a source of pride for many people, and a successful person only needing 3-4 hours of sleep is glamorized. I've done the 3-4 hours of sleep thing before. It's like living a nightmare. I was always tired, could barely keep my eyes open and kept randomly falling asleep. It's also extremely dangerous to drive when you're exhausted. This is my life right now. I average such little sleep that I'm always constantly tired. The sad thing is people actually try and one-up me as if it's some kind of competition of who get the least sleep. Believe me, I wish I could sleep enough. I remember once a co-worker asked how I was doing, and when I responded, I'm exhausted, she, in a very unnecessarily nasty voice, said back, I bet I'm more tired than you. Like, ? It shocked me for a second. I didn't realize being tired was a competition now. That working an 8-5 job is really necessary. It's not true for all jobs, but some jobs have huge amounts of downtime and the employees end up just trying to look busy for large parts of the day. It's what I'm doing right ducking now. It's what I do every goddamned day. If I can finish a job in 2 hours, why do I have to just sit here for the other 7? You know I'm not doing anything. Why draw out the torture? I used to manage a small team of folks, and this was generally my policy. Once your work for the day was done, you were good to spend the rest of the day however you wanted. I gave everyone a talk about how this was something I was trying and that we needed to stay on top of our shit to get away with it, and make sure that if something came up between 9-5 you were still available and could make it into work if anyone freaked out needed you for something. Anyway, all was well, and at the end of year celebration my team swept the awards for our division. Eventually, my boss found out and was fine with it, but said just make sure HQ doesn't find out. Fast forward a few months and I had given notice to go to grad school and was training my replacement when I told her the informal team policy. She mentioned it to someone at HQ, and that person promptly threw a shit fit and put an end to that policy. The entire team turned over within 3 months. I really just can't figure out why work wants you to just chill for 8 hours. I get wanting you to be available if something pops up, but why does that require sitting at your desk doing nothing for huge chunks of the day? As an Irishman, the most obvious answer to this is drinking. The social pressure to go on the gargle week in, week out is unbelievable. Australian here. I drink sometimes, but it amazes me how much people expect others to drink. I've been at social events where, upon arrival, people noticed there was alcohol available and went for it. When they saw me not drinking, they've asked me why I'm not already drinking. I explain that I don't feel like it that moment. So they tell me that they have money to buy me a drink if I don't have enough. I can't tell them that I have money but don't want to drink that moment enough times to make them understand. They just stare at me, like, but alcohol is available, you have to drink. Scottish, and this is a thing here too. Also Scottish, can confirm, I've never drank alcohol in my life, by choice. When people find this out in Scotland, they act like I've got some sort of disfiguring ailment. You're getting deported in the morning. Prioritizing work over well-being. This is something that I've been working hard on for the past several months. When I first joined the workforce about a year and a half ago, I thought that my job was supposed to be my biggest life definer. I would work and figured my identity was what I did for work. However, programming and IT were never my passions, nor are they today. I've had 2 jobs in them now and they pay the bills and more. But I've found that my passions and ambitions will never be in my job career, but in my hobbies. My job is just a way to sustain a lifestyle that allows me to enjoy my hobbies. I had to learn this the hard way. I'm a software engineer, coding was my passion, until I entered the workforce. Now the last thing I want to do when I leave work is touch a computer. The vast majority of my hobbies do not involve computers at all, and the 2 that do tend to get neglected for periods of time simply because I can't bring myself to look at a computer when I get home sometimes. What I've realized is that for me to be healthy I need to go to work hard for my 8 hours, and I do enjoy and feel accomplishment with that work, but then go home and do something else. I will never prioritize work above my life again. Can confirm. Just emailed in sick this morning. I got a flu that's been going around. My boss replied to tell me that he got it too, but he's still going in. Okay, enjoy getting everyone else sick. Consumerism. Having to own the right stuff to have worth. An 8-hour workday when studies have shown we're really only productive for about 6. We should have more time to actually live life. I spend an inordinate amount of time at the office considering all the stuff I could be doing at home. Then when you finally get home there's only 3 hours that I can commit to housework home improvement. It's incredibly frustrating because I have spare time, but that's time I have to look busy at work. Eat food with lots of sugar. We don't really notice it, but most food is loaded with sugar even if it doesn't need to be, because sugar is cheap when compared to other natural products and flavorings. It also adds a lot of weight to the product so the total weight stays the same while profit increases. Most companies don't care about this anyway, because people like sugary sweet stuff and will probably still buy it if they don't look closely at the sugar content and think carefully. Obviously this excessive consumption is unbeknownst to ourselves, so a lot of people end up obese or diabetic. I've lived abroad for 5 years and came back to the USA over the break to visit family. Had turkey sandwiches at my sister's where we used some oat nut bread or something that sounded similarly healthy. The bread was sweet. It wasn't supposed to be a fruit bread or anything. Just they added it for whatever reason. And I couldn't even finish the sandwich. I mean damn. I can't imagine her oat bread was more healthy than my go-to white bread made only with flour, yeast, and salt if you dump all that sugar in it. Anti-intellectualism. There seems to be a trend where ignoring expert opinions is cool. Doctors say to vaccinate my children, but Facebook says otherwise. Doctors are whack. Definitely going to side with this Facebook article with 159 shares. Also, illusory expertise. Yes, I know that you have years of study in your field, but the way I misinterpreted this study makes you look pretty wrong. Hold in our farts. Shit can lead to gastrointestinal problems. I learned to fart silently. Best to do it somewhere crowded and ignore it. Nobody will know who to blame. Same with sneezing. Pleurisy is a beach. Sneeze hard. Don't do the cute, polite sneeze. Never heard of sneezing politeness. In high school, one of the teachers wanted us to apologize whenever we sneezed. At least at first. She stopped giving a duck after 2 or 3 weeks. You see that car that you definitely can't afford on your income? You should definitely get it. I've been told I should just take that vacation because what are credit cards for? I'll answer that. Credit cards are for paying off every month while milking the company for points. In some ways it encourages the idea that what you're missing can always be found through consumption of media or buying stuff. I buy media and consume stuff. Am I safe? Only if you physically eat the media, then yes. Also I realized I misread the question. Instructions unclear, choking to death on Windows Media Player. Sharing everything we do publicly on social media. What amazes me is that so many people willingly reveal their daily itinerary, political opinions, sexual orientation, and God knows what else on social media. If government or police came knocking on our door demanding the same information that we give so freely, we would ask if they had a search warrant. Worship celebrities. take the opinions of celebrities seriously just because they are celebrities. No, that celebrity knows jack shit about economics. Desk jobs, sedentary lifestyle. Not directly, but we aim more and more towards sitting job, engineers etc. And it's impacting us in ways that we can't even think. It's only bad if you have no other activity in your life. Yes, it's much easier to stay fit and healthy if you're constantly moving around. But having a desk job does not necessarily lead to an unhealthy lifestyle. It just enables one if you're not motivated to do anything else. Yes, I'm looking at you. Bob, you work on the second floor. Take the stairs sometimes. Driving everywhere. The city I live in is not very pedestrian friendly and people drive everywhere, even down the block because there are no sidewalks. I live in a major US city with good walkability and public transit. I have a car, but can't get anywhere with the other two. I'm on the train as I type this. A lot of my friends live in the suburbs and drive everywhere. They are amazed how often I walk, even in inclement weather. It's a little less than a mile to and from the train. I love it. I find it peaceful to just throw on some headphones and walk. Feel shame, especially about sex. This includes our orientation and sexual assaults. In our culture, victims often feel more shame than the perpetrators. Children disclosing sexual abuse is an ordeal for all parties because sex is treated as ridiculously taboo and shameful in itself, a horrifying truth as to why many kids keep quiet and feel like they can't speak up. Think about how many adults shame and embarrass their kids about their first crushes. Demonizing sex is a very unhealthy thing for society to do to its members. I think it's the most unhealthy thing. Be romantic in ways that are actually creepy and borderline repulsive. For instance, the movie trope of a guy basically forcing a kiss on a woman who has pretty much told him she can't stand him, or never shown the slightest bit of interest. But this somehow pays off and wins her over. Watching old movies is hilarious for this reason. AMC constantly has a movie on where the lead female finds the lead male repulsive, but in the end he grabs her and kisses her and they're in love. It's like the lesson they were teaching was, even women who hate you will eventually fall for you if you force yourself upon them. It's certainly not as bad as, say, sweatshops. But the American labor system encourages you to settle for a unchallenging position you're overqualified for, dissuades you from taking time off, and encourages a degree of competition with your colleagues that chips away at your respect for humanity. It almost seems purposefully constructed to retard personal advancement. To me it seems like much of society puts an emphasis and importance on getting married or starting a family either during college years or shortly afterwards, which I see as a bit of a ball and chain from being able to forward yourself in any career you may be looking at. Most support the current work culture. You know how you should be an utter toady to your management and accept whatever abusive policy they put out in the abject hopes you'll be promoted to a better place or even be manglement yourself. Shit all over millennials. They're better with money. They know what makes them happy. They adapt to the ever-changing job education market. The real problem is it's difficult to market to the majority. Companies with shitty outdated products. We're looking at you. Fabric softened. Can't market to them and then blame them for financial losses. Baby boomers beach because these kids value happiness. Is that the whole point? As an Xer in between, I have more respect for the millennial than the boomer. Boomers were the most selfish generation their whole lives. They got away with it because of their numbers. The idea that you have to do something with your life. Not everyone needs to be a doctor or a lawyer. Working a blue-collar job and having hobbies is doing something. I understand striving for longevity in a job, but not everyone has to get a degree and end up in a white-collar career. Stay in our bubble. Watch the news TV. Eat processed foods. Smoke cigs. Drink alcohol, overindulge in shopping, etc. Useless stuff basically. Health at every size. Just tough it out. You're not weak. You're a stronger person than this. About clinical depression or anxiety disorder. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Find your one true love, TM. Get married. Have children. If you don't do these 3 things, you'll failure. Monogamy is not for everyone. Marriage isn't for everyone. Children aren't for everyone. And the worst part is there's a lot of pressure that if one step of the master plan isn't working, you need to push yourself to the next step because surely that will fix things. Your relationship isn't working? Get married. Your marriage is falling apart? Better have a kid. Not as much now, but tanning for vanity purposes. It's not cool anymore. Save yourselves. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.